On November 25th, 2016, Fidel Castro died. The Cuban government then ordered a 9-day period of mourning for all of its citizens, during of which time they were not allowed to have any get-togethers with family, no partying, no loud music, and no consuming of alcohol for the 9-day period. The government telling the citizens that they are not allowed to do stuff like that has kind of been the thing in Cuba since the Cuban Revolution of 1959. Seems pretty bad when a government can tell its citizens to do that. Kind of sounds familiar. Wouldn't you say? It is a great day to be an American. Why? Because of patriots like you. And it looks like we might be welcoming a lot more patriots to the family if you haven't been paying attention to the news. The citizens of Cuba have risen up and taken to the streets in demanding their freedom. They are done. They are done with the communist regime that has been ruling since 1959. The food shortages and poor conditions in that country have been a direct result of their government and their form of government for a long time. Now, another thing that they've done is they've always put a lot of money into their military, like a lot, millions and millions of dollars into their military. This is a tiny island country of about 11 million people. And why are they stacking up their military? Well, Castro kind of, what's a good way to say it? He got really excited when it had to come to military. He was always wearing the uniform, always the green fatigues and the hat, the beard, the cigar. You know, Fidel Castro. But yeah, always been all about the military there. But why? Why? Who was looking to invade Cuba? Who was looking for Cuba to like take them over? Was Cuba about to go to war with anybody? Were they? Tiny island of 11 million people, 90 miles off of the coast of the United States. Who are they going to go to war with? Who are they going to win against? Nobody. These are the results of a delusional man. And that man died in 2016. The country has never fully recovered since turning communist in 1959. One of the things that you always see when you see videos of Havana in modern day, you see cars from the 1950s rolling around. You see like 57 Chevy Bel Airs, Cadillac Eldorados. Great cars, yeah. And the Cubans learned how to maintain those cars and take care of those cars really well over the years because it was kind of hard to get cars after 1959. It's very difficult. So they maintained them, and if you ever need a mechanic for a classic car, they're your kind of people. So about 2 days ago, the Cuban people took to the streets, and they started waving the American flag in the streets. Now, this is punishable in Cuba. You could go to prison. You can go to prison for waving an American flag in Cuba. But they did it anyway because they were tired of it. They were tired of all of the tyranny and oppression that their communist government has given them over the years. They're literally starving to death. Things over there have been bad for a long time. People coming over to America floating on whatever they could find, literally, and just praying to get to the coast of Florida. So many of them dying along the way. Coming here for freedom. Coming here for a chance at life. Cuban freedom. So, that being said, I know this is a channel where I do celebrate whiskey. I do. It's a very American thing, and I love it very much. But today's a little bit different because I am so proud of the Cuban people for standing up to their government and demanding freedom. I want to switch it up a little bit. So a Cuba Libre. A Cuba Libre is, I always thought, like a real fancy name for rum and coke. Well, Bacardi was established in 1862 in Santiago, Cuba. And during the Revolution, they hightailed it out of there, and they moved their facilities to Puerto Rico. And Bacardi rum has been made in Puerto Rico ever since then. Puerto Rico is a protectorate of the United States, and so they celebrate freedom there. So, not only do the people escape to America for freedom, but so do the companies. So, we're going to enjoy it a little bit right here on the channel. So, a little bit of Bacardi and distinctly American and trying to be less white, of course. And please forgive me, I don't have any lime juice. Not on hand. But then again, I wasn't really expecting the Cuban people to rise up against their government this week. Cuba Libre. The literal translation is a free Cuba. One of the articles that I saw recently about all of this was about how usually they would just escape to America. They would just leave. And that's what they've done in the past. They just leave Cuba and they're not allowed back. But they would just leave Cuba and they would come to America and call it a day. One of the articles put a different spin on it, a different take. And it was saying that, well, they would have done that. They would have just come over to America. But honestly, the past 6 months have shown that America was about to start yet another socialist experiment. Well, you can ask any Cuban American about socialist experiments and see how they feel about it. They experience it firsthand. Socialism begets communism. That's how it happens. It starts there. More and more labels. More and more dividing and segregating the people of America. More and more, not equal rights, but rights above others. That's what they see happening. Not equality, not freedom. So they're finally taking things into their own hands. The new Cuban Revolution is at hand. And I couldn't be more proud. I have had friends in the past who were Cuban Americans, immigrated here when they were children, and learned to love this country. And let me tell you, it's not the same as when Mexicans or Latinos come over across the border. It's not. When you escape Cuba, you escape it. You're running from something so terrible. What do Cubans love about America so much? Besides the fact that it's not a communist, totalitarian regime. It's not an authoritative dictatorship, authoritarian dictatorship. It's a democracy. It is freedom. They have a say in what happens to their lives. They can go out there, and they can work hard and make an unlimited amount of money. They have a say who runs their government. They can elect people. The very foundation of democracy is what they love. The Bill of Rights is what they love. It makes me sad because there are so many people in this country on the left who hate this country, who say, oh, America's gone downhill. America's got so many problems. We should probably just start over. America is terrible. The system is flawed. The system is stacked against certain types of people. There's no recovering. It's ruined. It's terrible. It's awful. You ever look at what other countries go through? Ever look at how black people are treated in other countries? You ever look at how many other countries in the world still have slavery? China has millions of slaves. The Uyghurs. The left is so critical of America and its problems, and it uses those problems to leverage its agenda. Now, one of the examples that I said is, in the past was that somebody might be having a small campfire, like a fire pit. Somebody might have like a fire pit in their backyard and just be sitting there having a great night. And then someone on the left will look at it and say, the entire block's on fire. You have to call the fire department. Everything is ablaze right now. You take a problem, something that might not even be a problem, and you blow it up into something saying, this is affecting everybody. This is horrible. You need to come fix this right now. Just to leverage your agenda. But that's what the left does. They over-exaggerate. And I honestly cannot respect anybody who decides to live in this country and decides to partake on the values and benefits of living in this country and then turn around and hate it. I love this country. I feel like I hit the lottery because I was born an American. I was born with more opportunity than anybody. And it's not because of the color of my skin. And it's not because of social, economical status. Not at all. I was born a poor boy in the South. And I have come very far in my life. And I earned everything that I have. I worked hard and I got it. I was not given anything. And I honestly believe that if I have the opportunities to do that, then anybody does. Hard work and determination can get you very far in this country. But in countries like Cuba, you can have as much hard work and determination as you want, but the system is still stacked up against you. You can't get beyond that. So that's what they need. They need freedom. Cuba Libre. Thank you all so much for watching. We go ahead and like to thank all of our law enforcement, active military, as well as our veterans and first responders out there. If you like what you saw, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell over there to let freedom ring throughout the land. Thank you for watching the Freedom Hub. To a free Cuba.